Good evening. Hi, guys. Good evening. How are you doing? If you can see me, if you can hear me, please tell me where you're watching from. How are you? How's your week been? How's your day, depending on where you are? Excuse me. Hi, Linda. Good evening. How you doing? How did your day go? How you doing? How was your week? How have you been? I don't think I've seen you on YouTube live before. Thank you for joining. Who else? Who else is there? Let me know who else is there. How have you guys been? Hope you guys have been engaging on my content and stuff like that. And today I'm going to be speaking on a very interesting topic. For people who think, oh, it's too late for me. Oh, it's been a while. I think I may have missed my mark, and all of that. So tonight is for you. People who think, oh, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s. It's probably too late for me. My time has passed. My time has passed me by. You know, today is for you because I'm talking about late bloomers build the strongest empires. So, those are people I'm talking to today. Yes, so if you are young on this live video today, congratulations. Hi, Cecilia. She says the title is so powerful. Thank you very much. Yes, because I realized that a lot of times, because of life issues, because of things, some people bloom late. Good evening, Stella, Yomi Agbajo. How you doing? Always nice to have you. Stella is one of my regular live video members. Thank you so much, Stells, for joining. Are you still in the abroad? Or you are back to our fatherland? Nice to have you here. Yes, so those are the people I'm talking to today because I seem to. First of all, if you are just joining me, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Lara Kodaisi Don Momo. I am a mind and strategy coach. I'm a therapist. I'm a hypnotherapist and life coach, so many things. I help people, reinvent their lives, especially women who think that life has passed them by, women who have been through delays, women who wants to stand on their 2 feet financially, emotionally, mentally, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I come live every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. here on YouTube. So please do feel to subscribe to my channel. You can also go through my page. You'll find a lots of interesting content that would help you. Yes, Stella says yes. So I'm still in the UK. Fantastic. Yes, so Steve says woman of many hearts. Like, man, the hearts they choke right now. Yes, okay. So today we're going to talk about how late bloomers build the strongest empires. I know a lot of people that life did not go as planned. You know how you're 20, in fact, 20K, you're probably 10, 15, you have your life planned out. Okay, so I'm going to finish university. I remember, oh my God, I remember when I wanted to start dating my boyfriend, my first boyfriend. I was 17 at the time, or 18, one of those years, either 17 or 18. And because we were both born again Christians in church, were in both in the choir, so we knew that we can only date to marry. That's what that's what they tell us in church. So you cannot date for dating sake, you date to marry. So we had to sit down and plan, how many years would this relationship last. I think I was 17. I remember I was about to enter the Polytechnic at the time, and I wrote it down. 17, I'll enter poly or uni at 18. I shall know I planned everything out, and I wrote that I would have finished serving, by 24. That's 7 years. From that day, I'll be ready for marriage. So we both wrote it down. I wrote it down on paper, that by in 7 years I'll be ready for marriage, because we both sat down and calculated it. I would have served, I would have finished school, I would have served, I would have worked for 1 year or two so that I would raise money. Then I can now marry. Ah, that did not happen. That's the same guy I had my first daughter with, at age 19. Imagine what happened to 7 years wait. And I didn't get my first marriage was at 30. Oh my God. And my second marriage was at 39. So imagine, so, and I know that there are lots of people like that too, who sat down, planned their lives. By age 30, I would have finished having all my 4 children. But hey, you're probably in your 40s now or 50s, and maybe you are married, maybe you're not married yet, maybe you don't even have any child yet. Maybe financially you don't, you are not even anywhere, all of those things. So those are the people I'm talking to tonight, because such is life. None of us have control over life. If we did, by now, oh my God, I won't even be in this country. I'll be in one nice country, probably be president somewhere, or I don't know. Yeah, so, but people like me or people like you, yes. So Stella says, honestly, ma'am, man proposes, my sister, and God disposes. That's how it is. Because if to say now man they dispose, this thing that we are saying now is not what we'll be saying. But thank God for life. So, but one of the things I've realized is that it's not your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, it's not time for you to start regretting. Because that's what I've realized that a lot of people do. There's a time that they are bitter, they're full of regret. They now, if I had known, if I had done this, if I had done that, if I had, and that period, you are just sulking, you are sad, don't be that person, don't be that way. Don't be that way. That's one of the reasons why I have decided to create my community called the Not Too Late Community. Please join. We have a community on WhatsApp. It's called the Not Too Late Community. It's for people who want to, um, who are late bloomers, and they they know that it is not too late to have their dream life or dream desire. That's what I specialize in, currently. So if this is you, please, please, please don't lose hope, don't regret, don't start saying, I wish, because you cannot go back to change time. You cannot go back to change anything. It's too late. So all the time that you're supposed to be moving forward, to be building something new, you are using that for regret, you're using that for sadness, for depression. No, 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 no. You are going to end your life a bitter and sad person. And we don't want that for you, because there are loads of people who bloomed late, and today they built plenty strong empires. There are some people who bloomed late, and they lived the rest of their lives in abject or great happiness. And that's my vow to myself, and I hope you make such vow to yourself too. I don't care if you're 50, if you're 60. What if you're 60 now and you have 30 more years to live? You can make the next 30 years of your life the best years of your life. You will forget 60 years of pain. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So, please stop going back. Stop regretting. Stop crying. Stop being sad. Stop being bitter. You know, and all of that. So, because when you are younger, it's very possible for you to lose your way. Young people can have opportunities. A lot of us like that, you've had opportunities at a younger age to handle a lot of money, or prestige positions and probably we made a mess of it, But when you are older now, it's a different ball game. You are building differently, you're building with wisdom, you're building with depth, with resilience and emotional intelligence into everything you create. So yeah, let's talk about that. So let's talk about the pain of being a late bloomer. One of the most painful feeling in life is the feeling that you are behind. I always tell people this. Don't stop nurturing this feeling, stop harboring this feeling. People always feel I'm behind, all my mates are married, all my mates have children, all my mates have money, all my mates are holidaying, traveling, all my mates are, they have cars, they have businesses, they have industries. It's very possible. It is very, very possible, but it doesn't mean that your time too will not come, So please do not let that stop you or make you start, because comparison is the thief of joy, like we always say. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you start comparing yourself to your best friend, to your childhood friends, to people on social media, trust me, you will not move forward. You will live in sadness, you will live in pain. I don't allow that get to me at all. Yes, you can admire people. You can wish for what they have, you understand, without any bad intent, you understand. You can admire them, there are some people like that I like their life, what they have, and I follow them because of that. Because also that will also help you subconsciously. If you want something, if it's something you have been praying for, please follow the people that have it. Subconsciously you're trying to build it, you're trying to create it energetically. All right, so don't shy away, because some people, I've also heard some people say that some people page on Instagram affects them. So I've heard people tell me they deleted Instagram or follow some people because those people are happy, they're celebrating good things, and it makes them feel sad, it makes them feel, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like I get the rationale behind it, but I'm telling you that you should never allow yourself be that way. Why? Why would anybody's success, anybody's happiness, anybody's joy be a problem for you? I find it somehow, like, I love it when people are doing great. I would like I just don't like commenting. Sometimes I do. I'll comment, I'll congratulate them. I would like the page, I'll start following them because that's what I want to see. So if there's something that we say around here, that if God is blessing your neighbor, it shows that he's in your neighborhood, he's coming to you too. It's a sign that it is possible. So when I see people on Instagram or social media and they are flaunting what I want to have, I am excited because I'm like, yes, this is going to happen to me too. If this person can get it, nothing is stopping me. So, but when you now start interpreting it to be something else, don't do that to yourself. When you now start saying it and you're like, it makes you feel sad. Why are you feeling sad? Why? You need to do more work, or healing work, if this is how you feel. You need to sign up for therapy. You need to do more healing work. You need to do more coaching, more therapy, because that is a sign that something is terribly wrong. That is a sign that something is terribly, terribly wrong. Please don't let yourself live that kind of life. I beg you. Don't let people's joy be your own pain. Don't let people's joy. For instance, I can understand, because I'm a therapist. I can understand, some emotional situation. Let me give you an example. Maybe somebody just lost a baby, or had a miscarriage, and then you check people's page, you are scrolling, and then you see people who just have their own babies. That can trigger you, understandably. But for me, it never did. It never ever did. I'm telling you, like, I would have a miscarriage, and maybe innocently I'm just scrolling to social media and I'm seeing people having their babies and all of that, and I don't feel, I will just even be happy. I'll stay on it. I'll be like, someday, I know that I'm different. I know that because me, I have worked so much on myself. I don't stay long in pain. I don't allow negative thoughts dwell in my head. I don't. Trust me, no matter what the thing is, no matter what has befallen me, no matter what has happened, when something bad happens to me and people want to come and console me, they are usually shocked because I'll be the one consoling them. I'm telling you, I remember one of my miscarriages. After I told one of my friends, she came to my office with food. As in, she thought that maybe when she sees me, I'm going to be mourning. I've moved on, but that's me. I have worked so much on myself. I understand that you cannot be dwelling in pain. The more pain you dwell in, the more you promote it. You understand? The more you spread that energy, so I don't dwell. I'm not saying don't grieve, you grieve, but don't stay there. You get what I mean? So I understand what you mean when you feel pain and stuff, but this is 2026, ladies and gentlemen. I keep telling people, yes, we're trying to grow. Like, when are we truly going to grow? We're trying to heal. When are we truly going to heal? When? This is 2026. If you've been following me for years now, at least 1 year, 2 years, by now, you should have grown emotionally, mentally to a certain extent. So that you're not still in the same level and saying social media is making me feel left out, it's making me feel behind. No, you should grow. Please, and if you're not there yet, this is the year to do that. Send me a DM, sign up for any of my program, book a live session with me, so that you can stop this. I'm feeling somehow, my life. We are not entertaining that in 2026. All right. So, why do late bloomers build stronger empires? Why? First of all, people who succeed early sometimes build fragile success. When they are young, when people are still young, they just feel like money is available everywhere. I was discussing with my husband yesterday, we were watching something, and my husband has, oh my goodness, his shoes, his clothes. He hasn't bought, since I have known him, I've known this man since 2019 December. He hasn't bought one clothes, he hasn't bought one shoe. But there are clothes and shoes he has not worn. And he told me he bought them maybe 10 years ago. I was still telling him yesterday that when you have more, he was like, no, it's because, now he was trying to defend himself. That is because, he was in Harrods, he was in the US, he was in Belgium, that those are the things you buy at that time, he likes to buy quality. I'm like, oh, Benny, you like to splurge. He said, and I was telling him now that when you have a lot of money now again, are you still going to do the same thing? Say, lie, I'm wiser. So that's what happens. That's what happens to people. So when you are still young and you get money, you see it, like, you can tell from those people we see online now, all those Kataefe, Bella, all those small children. You see how they are doing with money because they are still young. You see how they are breaking each other's windscreen and cars and all of that. It's because of age. They're still children. They're in their 20s. So they're still, so a lot of times when people like that they build fragile success. But when you're a late bloomer, you build success differently. Why? Because you are building from experience. You've been through experiences. You've lived through disappointments, rejections, broken dreams, embarrassing failures, moments where life didn't go according to plan. You've gone through all of that. So, and those experiences, what do? They become wisdom for you. They become wisdom. So when a late bloomer finally starts building something, they are not building from theory, they are building from life. From life. Yeah, thank you. Luwato B. Loba says, so insightful. Thank you. So they are building from wisdom, they're building from life. An example of me. Look at me. What am I teaching people today? What am I building today? Because I've been through, heartbreaks, I've been through divorce, I've been through financial crisis, I've been through different business losses, I've been through, a lot of things. And now I'm rebuilding from the ground up. I'm rebuilding solidly because I'm in my 40s and I've been through pain, like serious, serious pain. You get what I mean? So, like for instance, a woman who struggled with identity becomes a powerful coach. Yes, I've seen this happen all the time. A woman who rebuilt her life after loss becomes a powerful mentor. A woman who found love later in life understands relationship more deeply than someone who never had to fight for it. Experience becomes authority. I was telling somebody today that I did a session today, and I was telling the person, that my son is 11 now, it's going to be 12 in a couple of months. And I started taking him to the crèche very early. In fact, as early as 10, 12 weeks. Yes. Because that time he was sick. Then we came back. It was so rough for me. He didn't want to take formula. He only wanted breast milk. And I was like, I'm not doing any exclusive. I can't do this. I was going crazy at that time. And I took him to crèche, I think about 11, 12 weeks. And I was telling myself now, I was telling the person that I can never ever do that anymore. You know why? Because have been through miscarriages. I have had to wait to have a baby. I know what it means to cry for a baby. I know what it means to kneel to God and pray for a baby. So I'm not going to get a baby now and then I'll take the baby to God forbid. Why? Because I've been through I've been through experiences. Now is wisdom for me. I'm not going to now carry the baby and go and dash one person. I'll be giving one person. Somebody was also telling me, one of my friends, that you can get some nannies now, that the nanny will sleep with the baby overnight. I said, for where? God forbid. Nanny will sleep with my own baby. What will I be doing? Overnight? No. No, 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 no. During the day, which one is overnight? But if it was years ago, when I was still young, still fertile, still, having babies, like getting pregnant like this, he wouldn't have mattered to me, wouldn't have meant anything to me. But now, nah, nothing like that. Number 2 reasons why late bloomers build stronger empires is that late bloomers are less driven by ego. When people succeed very early, sometimes ego becomes part of their identity. Yeah. But when you bloom later, life has humbled you. I can tell you this one. You know what it means to struggle, you know what it means to start again. But when success comes, you build it with gratitude and humility. And that makes your empire more stable. I can tell you that this is so true. Because you are building now with gratitude, you now have more humility. You would see that you would not overdo, you don't have much ego, you don't have a point to prove to anybody. You're just doing your thing. You're just grateful. You are just grateful because this thing you have prayed for it, this thing you have suffered for it, these things you have fasted for it, these things you have, so things like that. So when it comes, you are not how do you call it now? You're not, bragging. You're not trying to flaunt it and show off. No, it's only children that do that. What are we flaunting? Now we are in gratitude, we are in joy, we are in humility. That thank you, Jesus, that this has happened. In fact, that's why most late bloomers, when they have what they pray for, when they are building, they don't loud it, they don't shout, they just build on in silence and like I beg, let nobody put eye for my matter. So I've seen people who remarry maybe after a divorce or 2 divorces, and they don't even post on social media, they don't, I beg. Why? Because they are humble about it, they are in gratitude, so they are not flaunting anything. But when you see a 24, 25-year-old gets married, 23-year-old, everywhere, social media go full everywhere, content and all of that, So, but when you build as a late bloomer, you've been through pain, you've had to pray for this a lot of times, you are very humble. You are very humble, So, and humility will help you in building a stable empire, a stronger empire, because there's no ego, there's no proving a point, there's nothing you're trying to show people, you're not trying to prove to anybody, you are just there, grateful, humble, and just building, you know. So, another thing is that late bloomers build with emotional intelligence, because as a late bloomer, because you've been through sad occurrences, you've been through lives, you now have emotional depth. Hmm. Oh my God, that's one of the things I can tell you that I have now. And there's one of my staff members that, my operational director, like I like having deep conversations with him. Why? Because he has also seen life. But other people, you'll be talking to them. When you're listening to them, you'll be like, this one, they're still young. They still don't know life. The way they are still talking, the way they are still processing things, the way they are still thinking is still very childish. You understand? They don't really know life yet. But when you're a late bloomer, a lot of times you have emotional depth because you have spent years understanding pain, understanding healing, relationships, identity, growth. So when you finally start building something, it is not shallow at all. Your message carries weight. In all humility, that is why people tell me that they follow me, they like me, they follow my journey because I have been through pain. So when I'm talking now, when I'm building with sense. Stella says, I think it is spirit of envy. I think your response is later. Maybe you're talking about, can you elaborate on, I think maybe you're talking about, when I was talking about people that say when they see other people prospering on social media, they feel bad. Maybe that's because I'm just seeing your message now, it's just dropping. Maybe it's the network. So when you are building something, it's not shallow. Your message carries weight. Your voice carries truth. Your presence carries authority, and people feel that. People will pay you money if they know that this woman, she has been through so much. Imagine somebody that, let's say somebody said she has been through 4 divorces. Yes, I actually know somebody like that. Was it 3? Yes, she said she had divorced 3 times. Yes, Aisha. She's a coach too, so she shares her story. She's been through 3 divorces, and did she say, I think 12 miscarriages? As in the first, I was like, eh? Eh? What? So when she wanted to talk about marriage or divorce, healing, I was very tuned in, because somebody like that, you want to hear from their wisdom. You want to hear their emotional depth. You want to hear, them talk about their experiences, the pain that they've been through, the identity issues, the growth that they've also experienced. Because somebody like that, and she said she has children now and she's remarried again. You get, so I'm like, how did you do it? Auntie, please. I remember she came, somebody brought her, one of my facilitators for one of my programs in 2023 or 4, one of those years, I think 2023, brought her. I quickly got her details and said, you have to be a facilitator in my program called Life After Divorce. I used to do Life After Divorce every December, but I didn't do it last year. I don't know if I'll do it this year again. So she was one of our facilitators. She came to teach people about healing, about healing, healing from divorce, and lots of emotion. It was a great time. It was a great time. So that's what happens when you build emotional intelligence. Like right now, what gets me angry now, don't what used to get me angry back then is different from what gets me angry now. You understand why? Because I've grown. Especially because I'm an employer, entrepreneur. My staff members now, there are ways I deal with them that I didn't understand years ago. You get, because I was younger back then. But now, I have more emotional intelligence. I know there's nothing anybody can do to me, that will make me, how will I say it now? Like destabilize me, anything like that. I will properly scheme you out or plan for you. Why? Because I now have more emotional intelligence. I now know how to put my feelings aside or put my feelings in the conversation. Like those are the things that you learn when you're a late bloomer. All right. So, yeah. The next point is this: late bloomers know that time is precious. Yes, you know that you're in your 50s, time is going. So you're not going to waste time. You're not going to act as if, oh, I have all the time in the world. Nope, 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 nope. You know that you're probably, approaching 60. So you have to do it fast and do it now, you know. So a late bloomer knows that time is very, very precious. We're not joking with time, you know. So when they finally step into purpose, they don't play small anymore at all. They don't play small, like now, if I want to do anything, I don't think of, oh, let me do it small small. How? Because, you know because they've wasted years, people like that, they've wasted years doubting themselves, wasted time. So when they step into purpose, you know want to hit the ground running. That's why most late bloomers, most of my clients are late bloomers, most of the people that hire me. So because that's why, because coach, I don't want to make mistake again. I've wasted a lot of time. So let me pay you money to help me. I still spoke to somebody today that said, I want you to be my accountability partner. I said, oh, why? Very good job. That's my job. That's what I do. You just have to pay me for it, you know. And she was like, coach. I'm like, oh, of course, So we're negotiating and stuff because people like that, she's like, I'm in my 40s already. I don't have time to be doing try and error. I don't have time to be, trying to figure it out anymore. I want to do it now. So I want to do it well. So I want to, follow the footstep of somebody that has done it and has done it well. So that's why they don't waste time. I like to have, most of my clients are from 35 up. Actually, most of them are 40s, 50s. I like people like that. Do you know why? They won't argue with you much because they've been through a lot already. They listen faster. Like people like that, they have better and faster results. Unlike a 25-year-old that you still be telling this one, that one will still be arguing with you and still be saying, no, I don't think so. I think we can do it like this. I think God said, I think, my clients, because they know that, man, I've tried it my way. I've tried it a lot of times. I've tried it in different ways and it's not working. It did not work. So when they will just pay me jejely that this woman has done it, she knows what to do. So let me just keep quiet and come and listen to her or brainstorm with her because she's done it. So they don't waste time. Those are the people that get their testimonies faster. They get their testimonials faster. They get things done way, way, way faster. I like people like that. So they move with focus, they move with intention, and they move with urgency. That intensity creates momentum. I have one of my clients, she's 50 years old. She became 50 last year. And we were having a session last week Sunday. And good night, baby. See you tomorrow. So we were having a session on Sunday, and I was just laughing. She was like, coach, I don't have any more time to waste. I'm already at first half. We are entering second half now. So what are you saying I should do? What do you think? I like people like that. Those are the kind of people I like to deal with. They don't waste time, they don't stress you because they want results. When you want results, you don't go about, those are the people too, they don't use to overprice you or be underprice you and be telling you, because they are ready. They are ready. They know what time is. They know what time it is. They know that I don't have much time to be dilly dallying, So they just come. They probably watched me or followed me for a couple of months, to see my stuff. Some of them would have binged on my page, my YouTube, my Instagram. So they would have already, I don't need, so when they come to me, we don't need to talk to, I don't need to convince them. This is what you need to pay. I don't used to have clients like that. You get, we just, because they know that time is of the essence. They want to start now. So they move with focus, they move with intention, they move with urgency, because that intensity creates momentum. If you want to go fast, you want to create something big, you need intensity. Some people tell you slow and steady win the race. Slow and steady can be overtaken. I'm telling you. So you need speed, you need intensity, not even speed. Sometimes it's intensity. When you're building something, you build with intensity, it goes fast and far. You get, So, what are the advantages of starting later? Sometimes starting later protects you from building the wrong life. Yes. At least I know people who told me, I know people who are in their 40s. I have clients like that, and they are not married. And I have one, she's 45. She always tells me that, I know that I want to get married ASAP, but coach, if I had gotten married in my 30s, I'd have divorced because I don't know all these things. I've not done all the work, all the inner child work, childhood trauma. I didn't even understand what that meant when I was in my 30s. So there was no way I was just a mess. Those are the things she tells me. And I totally believe it. There are lots of people, maybe that's the reason why you're not married yet. God is trying to protect you. So when you start later, sometimes it's protection from building the wrong life. I'm telling you, many people who started early built things that were not aligned with what they truly were. This is true. There's things I have done in the past that I had to stop or scatter at some point because I was still young then, and I wasn't probably aligned with my purpose and destiny. So by the time they are 40, when sometimes when people build in a young age and then they get to 40 or 50, they feel trapped. This happens a lot in marriages. This happens a lot in, building things, careers around things that was just at that time shiny to you. So sometimes when they are 40, they are 50, they feel trapped. But late bloomers often start building after they have discovered themselves. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So the empire they build is more aligned with their purpose. Yes, if you're in your 40s, that's why I tell people don't feel bad, don't feel sad. I will tell you congratulations to you. Because if you have not fully discovered yourself, you are still, at least you have discovered yourself to a certain extent. So when whatever you are building now, you are building in alignment. Whatever you are building now, you are building with knowledge, you're building with experience, you're building it with emotional intelligence, emotional depth. You get what I mean? And if you build that way, that thing will last for a long time. That thing will last a lifetime. So ladies and gentlemen, don't be sad. Yes, maybe this was not your plan. I understand it. We all have a clock in our head. We all have a time. But if that is not the time of that life has given you, don't be sad. Don't be depressed. What you should keep saying or asking yourself is, what next? Where do I go from here? That's what you should be talking about and thinking about instead of, sulking, blaming people, blaming yourself, blaming the world, hating people, hating on life. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So, some reasons why people, yeah, time is gold. Steve says time is gold. So the reason why some people become late bloomers is because they spend the early part of their life surviving instead of building. Wasted years must be restored. Yes, it will be. Don't worry. As long as you know what you're doing and then you start doing it immediately. That's how it will be. That's what makes it restored. When you know what you're doing, you get your compass and then you start instead of waiting again. That way, there's no restoration. But restoration happens when you are walking in alignment. You already know that this is the way, this is where I want to go, and you start. You start with strategy. Yes. So a lot of people become late bloomer because they spent their early years surviving instead of building. Some people were taking care of family, some people were healing from trauma, some people were navigating difficult relationships, some people were rebuilding after divorce, some people were recovering from failure, some people were raising children, some people were just trying to find themselves. So while others were building careers, they were fighting emotional battles. If this is you, there's nothing wrong with you at all. You know, what you don't know is that survival that you did, it builds strength. You now have more strength. And that strength becomes the foundation for the empire that comes later. I remember from my circle of friends, a lot of my friends bought cars early. A lot of my friends had money earlier than me. And when they were doing all of that, and of course they also got married earlier, I was busy going for therapy. I was busy going for personal development trainings. I was going for mentoring. I was going for different programs to develop my mind. And some of them used to laugh at me then that the money that Lara should have used to buy land or buy car. Because I didn't have a car I bought my first car when I was 24. Then it went bad or I lost it maybe at 23 years after. And I didn't have a car for about 11 years. And all my friends had cars you know. So any money I got is therapy. Any money I got is mentoring, is training, is boot camp, is healing. I'm telling you. So they used to laugh at me then. They used to tell me, "Oh, the money, I remember it vividly. Lara's car money is in training. Lara will be riding train. Lara has spent the money that she used to buy house, she used to do investment, she has used it to do training, she has used it to do therapy. And I can tell you, I am reaping the rewards today. I was still having a conversation with somebody recently about how in 2020 I was very broke. Just how many years ago? But my life changed in about 2 years after that, or a year, sef. Why? Because of the level of investment in myself, in my mind. Like I can tell you, I have grown from 2020 20 times. We used to say 10x. No, this one is 20x. So that is what happens when you've invested, when you are a late bloomer, that you have healed, that you have learned, that you have done work on yourself. By the time you start to build, by the time you start to build, you go fast. That's what I've been trying to say. That is how you get restoration. That is how the years will be restored. You move. That's my story. What has happened to me between 2021 and 2026? Everything is like I have gone from zero to, it's not 100. It's like 0 to 1,000. I kid you not. Meanwhile, from like 2015 or to 2020 was very slow, very dull, very broke, very sad, very painful life. I'm telling you. It was very slow. But from 2021 to now, I have gone from 0 to 1,000. I'm telling you, for real. That is what is called restoration of lost years. It's not just by, praying or by saying, oh God, restore. No. Because you know how when you want to build a skyscraper, what do? You spend time on the foundation. You sink a lot of money on the foundation. You make sure, while other people have started building, some people are building bungalow, they built their foundation, they are going. You spend time, money, efforts, on building solid. By the time that foundation starts, is solid. By the time you put bricks on it, pam, you have gone faster than anybody else. That is my story, literally. That's the story of my life. Like I was, having I have a lot of conversations. I do a lot of sessions. And of course, I also talk to people. I was talking to my friend, and I was telling him, I think it was on Tuesday, that if I want to quantify my life, my journey from 2021 to now, it's like the speed, Kai, the speed, the multiplication, it was just like this, pam. I'm telling you. Because from who I was in 2020, by the end of 2021, I was no longer that person. I had tripled in size, in pockets, in bank accounts. 2022, pam. 2023, pam. 24. This was me that I didn't know. This was me that at 2018, December, I took a concussion to try to kill myself. This was the same me. So that's why you have to invest. And my secret is that I invested in myself. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, I cannot tell you how much I spent. And it's not as if I had money, I had a source of income, I kept money anywhere. No. I was just determined. I was just desperate. Like, no, I'm tired of my life. That's what I keep telling people. It's not about, oh, God, give me favor, favor, favor. Favor is good. But favor cannot keep you in the room. Before you get the favor, you also have to stretch for it. What is favor? I know how much I spent. Like, there was no money that they called for me that was expensive, even though I didn't have. I would look for how to negotiate. I would look for how to pay in pieces, piecemeals. I will look for how to get it done one way or another. I will look for how to get a free ticket. I'm telling you, I did a lot of personal development programs. That's why I look at people now. They've done 6 weeks, 8 weeks healing school. Oh, I've done therapy. That's not therapy, my sister. You've not done therapy. That's just you are scratching it. You are scratching the surface. You have not even gone deep. Why? You are 52. You are 48. It's taking you 48 years of your life to be like this, to be this way. 8 weeks cannot cure you. 3 months cannot. I did 4 years straight. 4 years. I started in 2015. I can tell you that maybe I stopped in 2019 or early 2019. 4 years straight. I don't grumble when they say this is the amount. It's still expensive. I'm not like that. Even though I didn't have the money, I won't say that. I don't see money. I'm still like that because I've always known that money is paper. I'm more particular about the value behind the money. Like, what value am I getting? So when they tell me it's 1 billion, I'm not looking at, I'm thinking, what's the value? It's the value that determines for me. So I made sure, God, that's the reason why a lot of people know me today. A lot of those, my coaches, my mentors, my bosses, I will enter their, DMs. I will enter their, just to be in that program. Just because I was tired of my life. I will die this way. I was tired. I had done it myself for years. It was not working. I was just moving around in circles, the same circle, no forward march. It's either backward or staying stagnant. So I was so determined that it's either I change my life or nothing. That's the attitude you have to adopt. Don't let people mock you. Don't let your mind mock you. I remember somebody that was paying me 2 years ago. She was saying, her fiance, she wasn't married then, she had a fiance. That the guy kept saying, is this woman jazzing you? Look at all the millions you are paying. I smiled. I told her, tell him to give you 2 years. Just 2 years. She was like, thank you, coach. Because she told me that when he started saying those things, she started feeling somehow like, it's true. Is this coach Lara jazzing me? How come I'm paying her 5 million? How come I'm paying her this sort of money? You get what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the money I can borrow you. Find yourself in these programs. Train your mind. Train your mind. Go for programs, go for trainings, go for therapy. Stop, a lot of people, they've learned something on Google. They've watched maybe one or two YouTube video. Now you are not throwing words around. It's a narcissist. It's called dependency. It's called Stockholm syndrome. I used to, when I see people like that, when they come to me, they're already self-diagnosed, and I'm like, they don't have depth. You just pick up some English that you took from Google or ChatGPT or YouTube, and you are flaunting it everywhere. You think you know everything. Who told you? So yeah. So your biggest danger is your belief of it's too late for me. Time has passed me by. Because when you believe that it is too late for you, what happens? You will hesitate. You will hold back. You will tell yourself it is not worth trying anymore. You will believe that, I don't think this is for me. And that belief will quietly steal your future. But if you decide that your story is not finished, everything changes. I'm telling you, this is my story. I told myself I'm going to marry again. I'm not going to say, because I'm married. So people used to tell me then, that my friends too, some of them, what do you want to marry for? You already have a daughter. You already have a son. What are you looking for? You already have a job, that your business that is giving you money. What are you finding? There's a lot that I'm looking for. I'm looking for companionship. I'm looking to have a functional family. I'm looking to have a husband that will be my rock. Somebody who supports me, somebody who I can share my problems with. There's a lot. I was telling them then, your children will grow up, they will leave you, they will go. But people say these things not because they don't want to marry again, or because they don't want to go through the stress. They are afraid. It's fear. I'm too old. But me, I'm like, no, I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to do it from experience. I'm going to do it from healing. I'm going to do it from, great mindset, and it's going to work. And thankfully, it has been working. So what you need is decision. You have to believe. You have to tell yourself it is time. You don't need money yet. You don't need anything yet. It's just that decision that my life is not done. I'm going to do this thing again. Or I'm going to start afresh. Or I'm going to go this route. Or I'm going to do you just need, that's all you need. People think that I can't do anything now. I'm waiting for capital. I'm waiting for where will I get this? Who will invest in me? Who will give me this? Who will go? I beg, let me just sit down by myself. It's decision. The day you decide, you will see that your thinking will change. When your thinking change, instead of thinking, where will I get it? You start thinking, how can I create it? That's how I think. I don't think, who will now help me? Who will now? My thought pattern is usually, how do I create it? What do I do to create this thing? Some of the most powerful empires were built later. People who started later, people like that KFC guy, what's his name, Seth? Cornel Harland Sanders. He built KFC in his 60s. Imagine the guy has given up, that he's too old. He would have missed out on a good purpose. Cornel Sanders had a very difficult life before success. He worked as a farmhand. He worked as a streetcar conductor. He worked as a soldier. He worked as a railroad worker, an insurance salesman. Most of his ventures failed. At age 65, he started traveling across America with his fried chicken recipe, trying to convince restaurants to use it. He was rejected over 1,000 times. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me? Some of you, they've rejected you once, twice, 3 times. You just give up. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally agreed to franchise his chicken. Can you see? The small recipe eventually became Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is KFC, one of the biggest restaurant chains in the world. Sometimes your greatest success comes after decades of struggle. Your earlier years may simply be training years. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about, we all know this person, Nelson Mandela. We all know. He became president at 75 years old, 75. You can imagine, 75. Who would have thought that somebody can become president at 75 after spending 27 years in prison during apartheid? Most people thought his life was over. But at 75 years old, he became the president of South Africa and helped rebuild the nation. Some destinies unfold only after suffering. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to, you have to keeping on. Let's talk about Mike Adenuga in Nigeria. He became massively wealthy in his 50s. Mike Adenuga worked for decades building businesses in oil and telecom, but he became a billionaire later in life when Globacom expanded and his oil ventures matured. Many of his biggest financial successes came after age 50. Wealth often compounds after decades of experience. So what are we saying? What are we saying? There's a lot that I can talk about here. So, but what are the patterns? I want us to look at the patterns of late bloomers. They go through 4 phases. Number 1 is survival. Early life is about struggles, responsibilities, pain, identity confusion. Plenty people that's where you are now. So you need to come out of it. If you are still in survival mode, that is what I'm here to help you for. You need to get out of survival mode. Because at age 50, age 40, you need to come out of identity confusion, and survival mode, Then phase 2 is awakening. Awakening. You begin to ask deeper questions. Who am I really? That was what happened to me. It started in year 2015. Who am I? Who am I? What do I really want from life? What is my purpose? What do I truly want from life? What are my likes? What do I really like myself? What is it that I don't even like? What do I want to achieve? That's the phase of awakening. My own awakening started in 2015. I knew. And the funniest thing, this was 2 years after I got married in my first marriage. That's why if you're still single now, let me tell you, congratulations. Because if your awakening starts inside your marriage, if your husband or wife is not in the awakening phase with you, that marriage will break. That was what happened to my marriage. So, you are awakening. You ask yourself deeper questions. Who am I? Really? What is my purpose? What do I truly want in life? Then phase 3 is reinvention. Reinvention. You start again. You start a new business, a new identity, new relationships, new mission, a new career. So that's it. It's those stages. Number 1 stage is survival. Number 2 stage is awakening. You get awakened. Number 3 is reinvention. That reinvention, I can help you with it. That's what I help people do. Where you start again, you start afresh with a new business, new identity, new relationships, new mission, And then phase 4 is your empire. You build the empire. Now that you now have all of this, new business, new identity, you now have new relationships, new mission. Of course, then you build something powerful. That's when you build a movement, you build a business, you build a legacy, you build an impact. And because you built in wisdom, it will last longer. Very, very, very longer, So that is the reason why I am creating, or I've created, the Not Too Late community. It is for people, women specifically, who believe that it is not too late for me. I'm 58, I can start again. I'm 56, I can start again. I'm in my 60s, I can start again. Those are the people, that are in that group, and we're on WhatsApp. So I don't know if the link is on YouTube if you want to join, but if not, just go to my Instagram. My current Instagram, my temporary, my real Instagram page has been disabled temporarily. I'm still trying to get it back. So but we have a temporary one, dear coach Lara underscore on Instagram. So just go to the bio, you see it there. There's a link there where you can just join the group straight away. So your life is not late, ladies and gentlemen. Your life is ripening. Everything you have experienced, every delay, every disappointment, every heartbreak, every reinvention, it has been preparing you to build something that is stronger and more meaningful. you know so stop thinking, oh, I'm behind. You are not behind, you are becoming. And you can keep becoming. Sometimes the people who take longer to bloom are the ones who build the strongest empires, because they are not building from pressure, they are building from purpose. They are not building from pressure, they are building from purpose. And that kind of empire cannot be easily shaken. All right. So if you want to rebuild, you want to start over, you want to, please send me a DM, you know, or send me an email, all of those things. And trust me, I will help you so that you can build that strong empire. you know. By We're having another masterclass this month for money. This month is the month of money. By March 28th, we're having Money Magnet Masterclass. So you can start preparing for it. Early bird offer is 150,000. That will be ending soon. The real offer is 200,000. It's from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time on Saturday, March 28th. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's called the Money Magnet Masterclass, where I'll teach you how to attract money, how to get money to work in your favor, how to work with money instead of how you have been repelling money subconsciously. Those are lots of stuff that we're going to be talking about. So if you want to sign up, send a DM, click the link, and it will take you there. So thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Luatobi. Thank you, Michael Steven. Thank you, Cecilia. Who else has joined me today? Linda, BTH. So thank you everybody for joining me. If you want to book a clarity session with me, send me a DM or an email and we'll get started. All right. I come live every Thursday, West African time on YouTube by 8:30 p.m. Thank you, everybody. See you next week, Thursday. Bye for now.